What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Pass the Barb. You are currently listening to the #1 outdoor podcast in the world. We got an awesome show tonight. We're just gonna see, just what the heck's been going on with the boys, but it's just me and Sobi right now.
Yeah, I know we're all of 20 seconds into the podcast, but let me just read you the last text we heard from Bart. And like he's been on, his honeymoon. And I want to say they were, like we had talked about before, they were doing something in the Middle East with the Egyptian cats or something. That's their thing. We're not going into this podcast, not about that, but that's where is that not where they were?
Yeah, I mean, it was something over that way. It sounded contentious getting back. I'm not sure what the airline situation is given the current political climate of things over that way, but yeah, I'm not totally sure. I haven't really chatted with them too much, so we'll see what's happened there. But yeah,
we have a group chat.
I don't know,
between us three, and it's the Pass the Barb group chat because we schedule and plan stuff out because we're so timely and we are just so undysfunctional. It's called organized, and that's what we are. And Ryan sent out some texts, and Bart replied with, "I may be running a bit behind tonight, boys. I got to go run some urgent errands." Bart's never hit us with that before. He might be like, "Oh, I'm going to be late," but this is urgent errands. And maybe he feels bad because he hasn't been on quite a few podcasts in a bit, and Ryan and I are kind of toting the weight of this show. You know what I mean? Like our backs hurt, some would say.
But we will investigate further.
Yeah.
It's kind of where we're at with this.
I don't know urgent errand, but I don't know.
I mean, if you're digging for excuses, you better ramp up because that is not it.
Urgent errands. Either way, so that'll come later. Our guest tonight is Adam Bartushik, and he's one of the co-hosts of the #1 outdoors podcast. If he shows, yeah. But it's good to be back. We've got a lot of things coming down the pipeline. This is like a very true change of seasons that's happening here. If you're from the Midwest, you've had nothing but 50 and 60-degree days. If you still have ice, potentially you went and maybe it was some of the most beautiful ice fishing days you've ever had. If you're up north, you probably still have a little bit of ice. And if you're down south, this is like, spring has sprung. And later on this week is the Super Bowl of bass fishing, the Bassmaster Classic. So we've got a lot of fun things to talk about tonight. Ryan, what have you been up to?
Well, I do know this potentially could be short-lived, but dude, weather is out of control.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous. I spent as much time outside as I could manage, and dude, I'm loving every second of it.
Yeah.
I even, right before this pod, dude, I grilled brats out on the deck. Oh, dude, it's so on. Dude, it was incredible.
I think that's something that I love about living in the Midwest is because we get the change of seasons. Like we get to appreciate the little things. And the same deal on Sunday night, Steph did that. And then tonight we did the same thing. We grilled on our deck, watched the sunset. And because of daylight savings, like actually when Steph gets home from work, we got a little bit of time where we got a sunset. We can like sit on the deck with each other for like 30 minutes and it's freaking awesome. I don't know. That's nothing crazy to write home about. But if you're from the Midwest, you understand like it's freaking awesome. It's awesome.
No, it really is, dude. And just the smell of being outside and it not being cold and grilling, unbelievable.
Can I say something crazy?
Yeah.
I wore flip-flops today.
Oh my God.
I grilled on our back deck in flip-flops, and then I also went down and punched 5 holes and went ice fishing tonight in my flip-flops and joggers. I'm not even kidding.
Incredible.
Yeah, I have video proof as well. So like I'm not just blowing smoke. Like I went ice fishing in flip-flops because it was 60 degrees, dude. It's unbelievable. So a true change of seasons is happening like amongst us. The ice is getting real sketchy in the metro though. Like I was jumping on it tonight and you could hear all the cracks like a sponge. So, yeah, it's unbelievable. It truly is. The weather in the Midwest, I think we're having some technical difficulty on Ryan's end, but he'll be back here in a second. But the weather in the Midwest has been, 11 out of 10. And we've just been taking advantage of it. I know, at least I have, and I think the other boys have been as well. But, from here on out, at least like the 10 to 12 day forecast looks like it could kind of re-solidify and get cold again. And that's kind of a shame because I don't know, it's not a shame. It's kind of like the dirty little joke that Mother Nature like plays on us every time. Like it's a dirty little joke. She'll get warm, then we'll get snow. She'll get cold, then we'll get warm. Then we'll get more snow, then she'll get warm. So I don't know. I think this potentially could be the end of the end. But I don't know.
But I even saw like upcoming, there were some cooler temps coming or whatever, but it's still just like the ice is starting to go, the snow is going, water's moving. Like you already have it charged up, so it's going to be disappointing when we get that little like cold snap back. But dude, you know it's coming.
I know, and like I don't know, like I have mixed. I think it's just a weird thing too. We won't talk on this too long, but it's a weird thing in the Midwest where like when one season ends, I'm definitely so excited for the other, but then I get a little bit like I get a tiny bit sad about the other ones. And then maybe it's because of how nice the weather was. Like when we were out ice fishing, I go like, oh, I'm gonna miss this. Like there is something about if you have your Vexlar and your forward facing sonar, or honestly just jigging underneath a flasher for panfish, it's like really fun. But if the ice opens up here and I have to throw a bobber out there, I love fishing underneath a float, but the bite isn't like, you know what I mean? Like you can't, I don't know. Like there's part of me that I'm like, you're gonna miss this. You're gonna
I agree. Yeah, I agree. But also like, I love like new stuff. Like I feel like I have a hard time getting locked into anything, like just in general, like in the outdoors. So it's like, I think everything's kind of got its, it's kind of like end. It's like, okay, on to the next. Cause it's like, I can't spring crappie fish when there's still ice. I can't go through a chatterbait when there's, you know what I mean? Like, you can't get to that next thing. And I'm just like, God, dude, now you get like that little taste of it. It's hard to go backwards.
I know, dude.
I don't know. I hear you though, but it's I'm ready, dude.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
And it's always like the one thing I love at least about like how they schedule the Bassmaster Elite Series and the Classic is the Classic lines up every year on basically our shut it down phase for ice fishing. We will, as soon as we shut it down for ice fishing, the Classic is like, hey, we're in 5 days. And I'm like, oh yes.
We're back.
Then I go down there and I get the bass bug, and then I come home and we still have just a remnants of ice and winter left. But I'm like full tilt, turn the other way, pack all the ice fishing stuff up, pull down long rods, like start freaking looking at baits and going through shit. Like, I don't know. It's good. The timing is good. At least where we live and what's happening.
It is. And dude, I will say I did successfully fish with a long rod this weekend.
Did you catch?
Goddamn, did it feel good. I did catch. I first backlash of the season, never felt so good.
Okay.
And yeah, dude, we were catching. It wasn't like electric, but it didn't suck, dude. It did not suck.
But you like got bit, set hook, landed fish on long rod in open water.
Correct, sir. It was glorious.
Any big pre-spawn mamas?
I will say, actually, the largemouth fishing was the highlight of the whole thing.
What?
And it was so cool. They were in super shallow water, super clear, and super aggressive. Like,
what'd you catch them on?
So I was catching them on a small inline spinner that I was using to actually fish for pike.
Yeah.
But after catching a few and kind of understanding like where they were sitting, I started throwing just a small, like a number 9 jointed Rapala, like a really natural looking one, and just throwing it like a wake bait right on the surface in like 2 feet of water. Oh. And what they would get on the surface like 6 feet away and just wake on it coming in like from the side and just demolish it, dude. It was so cool. And I was kicking myself because I'm pretty sure I could have got him to bite a topwater and I didn't have one to throw. And I was like catching largemouth in March, dude, in Minnesota would have been incredible, but I didn't do it. But pretty much was catching them on a wake bait, and that was cool. But did manage to catch a few pike as well. But yeah, the largemouth fishing was awesome. They were super fat. I mean, just beautiful big fish. Yeah, super fun.
And I assume you're like on the river in some backwaters, like that's where the water was open.
So where we're fishing, it's like technically the border of Minnesota and Wisconsin. So like the game fish season is not closed yet because our walleye pike season has been shut here now for a little while, but that is a continuous year-round season there. So we try to partake in that when we have the opportunity to. But it yeah, super fun time. My arms were sore because I haven't casted for like an extended period of time in a while.
Yeah.
So I got back and I was like, damn. And then I did go ice fishing the next day, which was like a major disappointing rewind, even though it still was fun, but it was like, damn, I should go back. And then it was the most beautiful day on Sunday, right? And then I was on the ice and I was like, this is backwards, man.
Did you catch on Sunday?
We did catch on Sunday. Yeah, we had a little group outing. That was pretty fun. It was kind of a panfish mission, but we did catch a few bass and some small pike and stuff too, kind of mixed in the whole deal. But on one walleye, I guess, inadvertent catch. But yeah, the crappie and bluegill fishing was decent. Yeah.
Nice. Can you kick our guest out? We have a special guest tonight. Can you kick him out? Is that possible?
Yeah, we can do that.
Back? Yeah,
we can do that.
Can you get him the hell out of here, please?
Could you maybe give us a little introduction?
No. Before that, I think we'll keep him back there because I have some super urgent errands I need to talk about on this pod, and that is my awesome weekend of ice fishing as well.
Ooh. Tell me, wait, before you give me the dirty deets on this, just explain to me, did you in fact?
The fun part of this is I can kick.
Ah! Bring me back. Hey. It's executive powers. That is power abuse. Okay, that was power abuse. Adam just kicked me out of the pod and back in. Please. All right, what were you talking about, Ryan?
Tell me you at least got down to a t-shirt in this business.
I did, dude. I did.
Yes, dude.
Like I said today, I fished in flip-flops on the ice. That's the first time I've ever done that in my life, and that was cool.
Incredible.
But yeah, before this weekend, did a quick South Dakota trip. It was electric. Caught a bunch of walleyes, harvested them, which was fun because we aren't able to do that in Minnesota anymore. We bought my friend Nate a birthday cake, and we brought it on the ice, and we served some birthday cake on the ice, and that was pretty electric with the harvest. Fished in a snow bear for my first time ever. It was so cool going in there.
What did you think of that? I've never done that, so
that was my first time doing it too, and it was like so amazing. And I totally it would be a guiding dream. Like that is like a really awesome way to show folks a good time because somebody could have never been ice fishing before ever in their life, and you could pull up with a snow bear and they could hop in with their tennis shoes and jeans, and you bring them out to a spot. You know, the live scope is just showing up on both television screens. Everybody can see their line. The guide can fish with you. You know what I mean? Like that whole, just seeing their whole setup. It's honestly set up like somebody's boat. Like, you know, in your boat, how you have everything kind of dialed and all your tackle and everything and all your rods. Like a snow bear is almost like set up like a guide boat. And it's really cool. It was a fun experience. And then from there back home, obviously this weekend, we did some late ice panty dropping. For some gills and some crappies, and it was just very pleasant to be out on the ice in 60 degrees. So like so fun.
So will you be venturing back out?
Like I said, I was out tonight.
Or is this it?
The ice was squishy and like squishy, and like it wasn't that squishy yesterday, but today it was like I jump and it moves.
Oof, yeah, okay.
And now, like, you know, we're headed to the Bassmaster Classic, and after we get back, I don't know what it's going to be like. I think the temps could drop again, but like, I don't know if I'll be back out again. I think I might full tilt switch and
just start trying sneaky stuff.
I think so.
Trying to get on. Yeah.
How about you? Are you done?
I think so, dude. Even some of the things I had in mind, I'm just like, I don't think it's going to happen. And I'm more excited to try to figure out other ways to get out than I am to try to get back on the ice.
It's like the reverse thing of early ice. Like,
yes,
we're searching for open water and we're searching for ways to get on it. We're searching for fish to catch open water. The same thing is like when the first little sloughs and ponds freeze, we're like, I could probably walk on that. Like it's I think it's half the fun. It really is.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. And yeah, dude, casting around a bait caster didn't suck. I'm gonna tell you right now. So
it felt amazing.
Yeah, it was insane. So good.
So should we bring him in?
All right, we might as well.
Do you want to introduce him?
Let's get this over with. Yeah. So coming to us from the Middle East, he's been on a bit of a respite from PTB Nation,
a hiatus, some would say.
Yeah, and I believe that he did want to come back and just didn't feel the need to really commit to being here when we were going to start this, which is fine. It's not like we discussed this previously or anything about when this would be. But let's just bring him in now. Good friend of the pod, Adam Bartusek.
Ladies and gentlemen, Hi. Boys and girls, Adam Bartusek. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm back. I'm happy to be back. I'm
you
happy that our time for recording was confirmed 2.5 hours before we started recording.
Oh, so you did know about it. Okay. I was just checking.
2.5 hours, 2.5 days, you know. Sometimes some people plan ahead, some don't. But yeah, I had to run a few errands. I got back and you guys were 3.5 minutes into recording. So
talk to me about the urgent errands. What were the urgent errands?
I cannot disclose those, but me and the wife were running around doing stuff. So okay. I just had to go do a couple things. We just got back, so trying to get everything dialed in, get caught back up on life.
When did you get back officially?
So it would have been Friday morning, like Friday morning to my house at probably 2:30 in the morning. So like Thursday night, Friday morning, you know what I mean?
And I'm sure you've kind of had like a potential honeymoon hangover, not from the drinking, but from just like traveling, being gone.
Well, I mean, yeah,
being in the sun.
Both. Like literally both. But traveling. I mean, a lot of flights and two different time zones, and then got back. But yeah, then I was fishing with Ryan on Saturday, so we were out on the ice, or on Sunday. We were out on the ice on Sunday. So we were doing that. That was cool.
What group deals did you do on Sunday?
We had our last Chronicle. It was our last Chronicle experience that we donated. So nice. We actually fished with a buddy named Joe. He's actually friends with Josh and Jay up in Manitoba. So he won our guide trip with the St. Jude fundraiser we did at St. Paul. So nice. He came down, went out fishing with us. I think he's going with, while we're recording this, he's going with Nitty tomorrow. When people are listening to this, he would have went with Nitty the day before. So he did a sweet little bender. He went to Devils, then down to us, and now he's going up to Nitty on Mille Lacs.
It was super cool because he was a big part of our fundraiser. He actually won 3 of the guide trips at our St. Jude fundraiser and then linked them all together into one big swing. So they had their group of buddies came down from Manitoba to partake in a little Midwest ice fishing bender.
Yeah, it was pretty sweet. Him and his boys, they hadn't caught bluegill, a crappie, or a largemouth. And we were like, really? And then you kind of thought about it where they are in Canada, and like they catch walleye, perch, trout, like, you know, they don't have bluegills and crappies.
Yeah.
Like you don't go chase those. So like we caught a bluegill and they're like, whoa, look at that thing.
Yeah, like they all wanted to come over and check it out. They all wanted
to see it. So then when one of us would catch a new species, we're like, oh, here, that's what that. They were hyped when they caught a largemouth.
Yeah, and that one, the one guy, he actually broke off a largemouth. It got like wrapped around his transducer, and he was trying to pull it out of the hole, and it snapped. And it was like maybe a pound largemouth. Yeah. And you would have thought he just lost the Bassmaster Classic, dude.
Yeah, there was a lot of
devastated, but he did end up rallying and catching 1 or 2 at the end. So
yeah, he did. Cool. He got him later. But yeah, so that was super cool. So we got to take them out. That was fun. Ryan whipped up a bunch of food per usual. He made those were the wraps from when we were in South Dakota, right?
Yeah, the fish club wraps we did out on the ice, which was awesome.
So those were super delicious. That was super fun. And yeah, and then, I mean, it was 60 degrees when we left the lake. So drove back home, and today I ran up to Intune, dropped off some boat batteries and graphs because I'm picking up my boat later this week. But yeah, just kind of, I was listening to you guys. I'm kind of currently in purgatory, in terms of like, well, actually, no, it's a good place to be. I could go do either. I just don't know. I'm still debating. I might not be done ice fishing yet.
Well, that's just because you haven't made a cast yet. You make one cast and you're like, put it away.
Nah, I've gone back and forth before, but yeah, I do really want to go open water fishing. It's also like it's supposed to be cold next week, and I know it's super nice out right now, and I want to be in a boat right now, and I know where there's some open water right now, but I don't have a boat, or I just don't really have an ability to go do it or time until I can. So, and I know next week there's going to be fresh snow on the ground. It's going to be cold, and probably be able to grab the snowmobile that's in my front driveway, and I'll have to drive north a little bit, but I can go fish a little bit. So I'm just not sure if I'm done yet. I also wouldn't be surprised if I just grab the boat and end up heading the other direction. I haven't really made the decision yet on that one.
I think, like, Ryan, when you and I fly back in from the Bassmaster Classic, there's supposed to be lows of like 6 and 7 in the
They're supposed to have been like 14 inches of snow too. So
that's a sick joke. That is
sick. So that's also it. Like, for example, if it was warm like this, and in the future I didn't see a huge snowstorm in like single digits and low 20s, like if I saw like 30s and 40s, I'd be putting my stuff away this week and being like, yeah, I'll just get the boat ready and start doing that. But like, it gets cold again next week. Like, there's gonna be a bunch of lakes and places you can't even act. Like, we're kind of gonna be in purgatory for a little bit of like open water, not open water, and unless you want to go fish current or something on the river, that's kind of where I think we're gonna be at a little bit. And I know Pink wants to do that.
But enough of this. Enough of this purgatory talk. I want to give me a rundown of the honeymoon. You just got back from an epic trip. I want to talk about some heat and some honeymoon.
Yeah, so I went to St. Lucia. So shout out everybody who came to the wedding. We didn't really, I mean, to be very honest, we did not ask for many gifts for our wedding other than people contributing if they wanted to our honeymoon. So this was paid for and everything by the people who came to our wedding. So very much appreciate them. Also paid for by Sobi and Pink's little bit of an auction that they worked hard for.
Well, MC action, I would say that.
Yeah. Appreciate you boys at the dinner. But yeah, so we flew to St. Lucia. So if people don't know where St. Lucia is, it's in the West Indies. So like, it is way southeast in the Caribbean, like way far. Like, you think flying from here to Miami is far, from Miami to there is like, flip it over and go even further. And that's how much you're driving over or flying over the Caribbean. So when we started looking at our honeymoon, we wanted to go somewhere, basically, like, you're just like, I want to go somewhere with really blue water in the Caribbean. You know what I mean? I just want to go somewhere like really gorgeous. So when you look up a bunch of islands, we started with Turks and Caicos. That's where a lot of people look at. Turks is like ungodly expensive. But still, we were looking at going there. And then we looked at Grenada. There's another one that starts with an A, but I can't remember it. I don't remember what it is. But anyways, we were looking at different islands basically in this whole region. The biggest thing was we wanted to be able to go for like a week minimum, but the goal was like 10 days, 10, 11 days, like go for a long time, kind of a longest vacation you'll probably ever do for a while type of deal. So we started researching a bunch of islands, and St. Lucia comes up because St. Lucia has like the pretty beaches and everything, but St. Lucia has like mountains down there, like 3,000 to 4,000 foot mountains on this very small island. So if you look up pictures of it, it's like just straight from the ocean. It goes sheer cliffs straight up 2,000 feet in places. It's like insanely pretty. So that's how we ended up picking there. And also, since we knew we were going to go for a long time, it's not necessarily the easiest to get to. There's no direct flights from here, or really from a lot of places. So we actually flying down. We left on, it would have been Monday night. We flew down at like, I don't know, 5 to 9 or something like that, down to Atlanta. Then we had to stay the night in Atlanta, and then check back into the airport, and then flew all day down to St. Lucia. So we didn't even, we started traveling the day before at, I don't know, 5, whatever it was. And we weren't checked into our hotel until the next day at 6:30. It took a long time to get down there. But then once you were there, it's like you're there. I will tell you, and then when you land, you have a 1.5 to 2.5 hour shuttle from wherever you landed in the airport to whatever resort you're going to, because all the resorts are not where it's flat. So you got to get to the other side of the island. And if I ever need to like trust a driver with my life and I need to get somewhere fast and go, I'm picking a driver from St. Lucia, man. They are insane, insanely talented. They drive on the other side of the road. That was a trip up. I haven't dealt with that before. So they have a lot of roundabouts. So I don't know if you've gone through a roundabout on the other side of the road, but that is a wild experience.
That would be weird.
Other side of the road, driver in the other spot. There's a lot of things going on. But also their roads, like they say they're 2-lane roads. They're the width of one of our lanes. And there's cars just flying by each other, going 40 to 70 kilometers an hour. But they're just winding through these mountains, sheer cliffs, everything, and they're just humming. And then you come around a corner and you'll have like 100-yard gap, and they'll just fly around the car in front of them. And, dude, they're just like, nobody's using turn signals. Nobody's using anything, but all they use is their horn. So like they'll like honk once real light, or like honk, or like they use audible signals to each other, and they'll just fly around. And it was crazy. Like their driving abilities are honestly ridiculous. Like the amount of times that we were going by vehicles that I swore the mirror right by me was just going to get ripped off was so numerous.
Did you get to enjoy a couple cold beers in the car? Like was it like a Mexico type deal, or were you like stone cold sober? Like, oh, well,
no,
God.
Because it also was a 2-hour drive, dude, and you're not stopping anywhere. So you know what I mean? You like start drinking a beer, like you can't really stop anywhere.
So you got to get tore up at the airport.
Yeah, way beforehand. Yeah, and then fly for 5.5 hours. But we got to
get there.
Yeah, when you get there, yeah. The airport also is incredibly small. But either way, it was super, super cool. Super cool island. It was like 85. It was 85 degrees every day. Nice breeze. Every night was 75.
How many people were there that were vacationing? Or
a lot. I mean, most of the island's main like economy. Like the main thing they do is tourism.
But were they from Canada, Australia?
Oh, I honestly,
were they from the U.S.?
I don't know. Alyssa and I kind of talked about that. I would bet it would be 40 to 60% were from the U.S., probably about half. And then there was a lot of Canada. There honestly was probably about 40%. It probably wasn't half.
Okay.
And then there was a lot of Canada, a lot of UK, a lot of European, and then various other places from around the globe too.
Nice.
Would you recommend it?
Absolutely. Yeah, it was super cool. It's insanely beautiful.
Highlight best food of the trip.
Best food of the trip we had a lot of really good food. So we stayed at so there's a bunch of different resorts you can stay there at. We decided to stay at Sandals, which is a little more corporate. However, they have 3 Sandals locations on the island, and you can hop between them. So
that's cool.
If you're staying for a long time. So we actually stayed at one resort for 2 nights, 3 days, and then we went to another resort for 6 nights. So we were able to stay in there, but we ate at a bunch of different restaurants because they have like 10 or 12 of them on property on each one. So we ate a bunch of different food. I would say best was, I mean, I ate a ton of saltwater fish in different Caribbean stuff like that. I had snapper multiple times and it was awesome every time. I already told Pink this. We found a fish that Alyssa likes to eat.
She actually another meat.
Yeah, and that was mahi. She ate a lot of mahi.
Oh, dang. Okay.
And yeah, there was just a bunch of really good food, to be honest. Yeah, had a lot of great food. But then I brought Pink back a gift. I don't know if he's tried it or not yet. You could try it on PTB if you wanted. But yeah, it's a hot sauce there. There's a ton of different types of it, but it's called like their pepper sauce, they call it, or something. But what do you think of it, Pink?
It's very good. And the funny thing is, so I've never had this specific hot sauce before, right? But so there was a hot sauce that I had been getting for a long time that it was like, I don't even remember exactly the circumstances of getting it, but it was like stuff that just came in like a water bottle. Like this was like from some little like Mexican market type thing. Like, they make it in the back type of thing. And it tasted just like this. And it was the same color and everything. And like really super good. And I've never been able to find it since then. And this this is like exactly the same. And it was actually probably one of my favorites of all time.
What does it taste like if you had to describe it? Like,
I would say it's a very, for one, it's super thick. Like it's not like a normal hot sauce where you just like pour it and it's super runny, but it's a really thick, it's bright yellow, hot sauce. And I don't even really know what's in it specifically. But it's spicy, but also very sweet. It's really good. Mm-hmm. It's really, really good. Like you can damn near drink the stuff, or just like, it's
very good. It's and it is like Pink said, it is very spicy. It's like not too spicy. It's like right at that perfect level where you're like, I can put this on a lot of different stuff, really enjoy it. It's sweet. It just does a bunch of stuff. But I told him, because that's what they have. They have like ketchup, mustard, mayo, you name it, whatever there. And then in America, we have, Tabasco or whatever hot sauce when you're at a place. This is their one. They have it everywhere. So I had it a bunch, and I wanted to bring it home for.
What did you put it on initially that you were like, oh, I'll hit some?
It's like a morning omelet.
Yeah.
Just like eggs, something like that. And I was like,
it's
that was good.
It's one of those condiments though, that it's like, it's literally good on just about everything.
It is. It's super good on everything. So that's like, I wouldn't like buy or bring a bunch of stuff back of something that's like super niche, but this you can put on so many things. So I actually brought back a handful of bottles of it. I brought some back for my family. I brought one for Ryan. And like they had some of it there, so I got it. And then when I told them when we got to the airport, dude, they have like a fucking store of it basically. Yeah. And they have a ton of it. And there's like tons of different flavors. They had Verde, they had one that was a little bit lower than the one I gave you. And then they had 3 of them that were more spicy that went hotter, up.
Yeah.
And there was one that like I wanted to get it just to like try and like give it to someone, but I just couldn't do it because I couldn't believe that it could be okay for your stomach, because the color of it was like, I mean, fire engine red. The most bright red you have ever seen in your life was the color of that hot sauce.
And you're like, oh.
Yeah. And then they had they have a banana ketchup too, was one of them they had. But it's called Baron hot sauce.
Stuff,
it's like Baron.
I was so funny because as soon as I tasted it, like, how some flavors, like your memory just clicks. And I was like, holy shit, this is that exact same stuff. And I was like, I even looked, I'm like, all right, we're going to just like buy some more of this shit, because this is the stuff that I really liked. So
did you find it? Can you actually order it?
There are some places you can get it online. Yeah.
Okay, that's what I was. Once I saw that, I was like, okay, is it gettable? Because
it seems pretty easy to come by. But obviously it's like you'd have to know about it, right? Like it's not like you just probably go to Cub Foods and they have it there. So but yeah, it's super good. Yeah, I appreciate it because I probably dusted about a quarter of that bottle already.
Hell yeah.
Whoever invented that is definitely like the baller of that island, dude. Like that.
Dude, no doubt.
Like, yeah, and like I said, I don't know if it was invented on that island or just one of the islands, but it's a West Indies hot sauce, so it could be on any one of those islands. But yeah, it is very popular there. They have it everywhere there.
Yeah, and it's damn good on everything from red meat, chicken, fit, like everything, dude. It's so good.
Yeah, so I ended up putting that on a bunch of different stuff we had there.
Was the water blue? Like, was the water blue?
Insane. Yeah, I got a bunch of pictures. I'm probably going to post a bunch of them tomorrow. I've just been catching up on life, but insanely blue water.
We went.
I did not go fishing. We went snorkeling.
Was snorkeling cool?
Dude, super cool. So we went. St. Lucia has two mountains. They're called the Pitons. They're on the way southwest side of the island, basically. And like I said, these are two mountains. I think they're called volcanic bumps. So they're not volcanoes, but they've been risen up like that. And they come straight from the water, sheer up 2,000 to 3,000 feet. Wow. And we snorkeled at the base of them. So like you take we took a like cruise or whatever, a sunset cruise all the way down there, parked, and then we snorkeled. And I don't know exactly how deep it was because it dropped pretty quick under the water, but we were only snorkeling close to shore. But like I could see Alyssa next to me standing in water and down, and dude, we had to be looking down like 30 plus feet, and you could just see the bottom clear as day. Wow. Absolute crystal clear as day. And super cool experience. Just the island was crazy beautiful. Every day, well, not every day. It would kind of alternated every day being beautifully sunny the whole day, or they get sun showers, kind of like when I lived in the Florida Keys for the summer. You'll just be chilling and all of a sudden it's like rain for like about 3.5 minutes, and then it just stops, and it does it like 3 or 4 times a day. But yeah, it was super cool. Honestly, the coolest place was the room we stayed in was insane. I'm gonna text you guys this and then we'll move on. But we stayed in our own. It's called a Rondoval suite, and we actually had a butler.
Oh my gosh! Did you beckon him?
Insane. Well, dude, they just like come and do stuff. So like, we would use him for getting a poolside spot every day for like the beach or whatever, because all the
people, Bart used that butler, Ryan. He was
for like that. I'm not getting
he was
early.
Like
snapping his fingers.
Getting up early to get a pool spot. And dude, you want to try to beat the
Reginald?
Retirees
My left foot does not have a sock on it. Are you seeing this?
No, it wasn't for that.
Okay, my left foot is sockless. Get over here.
I'm gonna text these to you.
You want a tip or you want a tip?
Okay. Oh my
god.
This was our like own. We had our own basically condo is the best way to put it, that we stayed in for a week. So this was it. It was basically a big circle. I sent you guys pictures of it. It was crazy. We had our own sky roof with a whole telescope and everything. You could look at the sky. We had our own little community. Basically, it was super isolated. We had our own pool.
Very lush. It looks very lush there. Like
very green. Insane. Like I said, the colors are crazy everywhere on the island.
Wow.
What was the butler's name?
So obviously they have different work shifts, so you had different ones, but we had Amos, Thomas, Denal, and then we had a guy named Gasper a couple times. But yeah, they were all super chill.
Where did they hang out when you weren't using their services?
Honestly, I don't know. But they were taking care of like I think they alternated between 4 or 6 of our type of condos.
Okay.
So like, I'm sure they were fairly busy. We didn't use them that much. And trust me, there were other people there who used them a lot. And you could tell who they had to go help a lot. And you could tell we were not those people, because when they saw us, they were very happy.
Dude, is that a little hot tub in the back patio there?
That's a pool, but yeah. I mean, similar. Yeah.
Amazing?
It was sweet.
Honestly,
definitely was like a once in a lifetime trip. Like, I would never go that bougie on just like a regular trip, but it was very fun.
No, but it had to have been amazing to like go that bougie. Like, was there a part of you where you're like, dude, I kind of feel like I'm from Hollywood or something crazy. I
would, yeah. I mean, you definitely feel important because you're staying in one of literally the second most expensive place you can stay on the resort. And it's a massive resort. So like, when you go check in for dinner, they always ask for your room number, and you tell them your room number. And everybody, like every person who's checking you in, you can tell is like, oh, and like postures up a little bit. And you're like, dude, I don't have this kind of money. Like, I'm just here. I'm here on a honeymoon. I'm a poser. But
I hope there was owned it a couple times that you're like, yeah, we're in.
There was. I mean, it was either. It was cool because it was either other couples that were on their honeymoon, and they were all, I mean, obviously cool. We'd run into some of them, or like elderly couples that are extremely wealthy.
Yeah.
So it was cool.
Dang. That's an amazing trip, dude. Like that is an amazing honeymoon. And Alyssa, you would say Alyssa had like a 10 out of 10 time.
Oh yeah. We both had a ball. It was great. Just chilled by the pool, drank, ate some food. I mean, really, it didn't really have a agenda at all.
What was the drink of choice?
Oh, I was going to say, sorry, I was looking at my notes because I kept a couple notes. Okay. If you had to pick a fast food restaurant that is extremely popular in the U.S., that is unbelievably popular in St. Lucia, it is not Subway. It is not McDonald's.
I'm going to go T-Bell.
I'm going to say
it is not.
Arby's.
It is American food. It is not Arby's.
No, fuck. I don't know. Burger King.
Is it a sub shop? Is it Chipotle?
No. It's American food. I think this is actually very fun because when I say this, you guys are going to be blown away.
Give us
I am talking, they are everywhere. And when you drove by them, they are fucking packed. Like, quick imagine trip. A Chick-fil-A or Chipotle.
KT
here.
takes St. Lucia, dude.
Give us a tiny hint. What's something you ordered there? You don't have to be specific. Because I know you went.
Chicken.
Weird.
Canes.
Nope.
KFC.
Bingo.
What?
Really?
Everywhere. And they are packed to the brim with people.
Okay, Alyssa like
packed.
Yeah.
The Colonel was on vacation.
We didn't go in.
We didn't go in.
We just drove by, and like we drove by like a substantial amount of them, and we're like every single one was packed, and we're like, what the hell?
It's a secret recipe,
dude.
They
love their KFC, dude. Love it.
That's
a fun little pack. I typed that one down because I was just so blown away by it. I couldn't believe it. I was like, God, I don't think, you drive by so many KFCs here that aren't busy. And I'm like, how are they staying in business? And it's St. Lucia.
Dude, honestly, like that's a really good point because if you were to be like, Sam, just general thoughts on KFC, I'd be like, oh, I think their food's fine. But also like, I don't see any commercials from them. I can't really tell you the last time I've been to one.
And like if they had closed entirely 100%, you would not even know.
No, I wouldn't probably know, and I probably wouldn't be surprised. I'd be like, oh, no, for sure. I bet they had a heck of a run. Like, that'd be a cool documentary to watch on them. But I could see them definitely like, oh, they went out of business. I'd be like, yeah, probably.
Now, I will say, I have not had KFC in an extremely long time.
Yeah.
Like, many years. But I bet that hot sauce absolutely rips on that chicken.
And that was my thought once I had that hot sauce, Pink.
I was like, I get it.
Yeah, that hot sauce is probably insane on that.
They probably
chicken.
have it at KFC there.
It's probably like, dude, I get buffalo wings, you get Peppo wings there. They just toss it in that shit.
And then I'm like, I'm in. I'd be going there every day, probably.
I'd fly there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I did. I took notes of that. Drinking choice. Normally I was just, they had their Piton beer if I wanted a beer, because otherwise it was only Heineken. That's all they had. If you had beer. And then I'd have a vodka soda with a lime, basically, in general, or whatever. Dude, they have like so many specialty drinks of the day or whatever. So you're just alternating between whether it's a daiquiri of some sort, of margarita, pina colada.
What did Alyssa hit?
Like I said, you just alternate every day, because by the end of the day, you were sick of the one you had the day before. So you're like, all right, what's next? You go through them. Yeah.
Because I feel like I'm incapable of going to somewhere with a beach and not getting some variety of like blender drink.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
that's part of indulging in the culture.
Yeah, you'd have a couple of them and then do something else. I mean, we had our own bar in our room too. So like we'd go hang by the pool, drink there, and then later when we go back to change for dinner or whatever, we'd just drink the drinks at our place. So we'd have the fancy drinks obviously when we went to the pool and stuff.
Did you
but
make
then
the
major pro tip for anybody that goes on like an all-inclusive, utilize your eating times for drinking water. That is very important, because otherwise you will drink no water. And they're Pink, you would love the servers there. They're very, very high on keeping your water glass full when you're eating.
Beauty. Yeah, the last time I did like an all-inclusive thing, that was definitely a pro tip, was the water situation, because you're just drinking all day, and you got to mix them in, dude. But,
yeah, and that's when you're eating is a great time, because you could sit down and be like, yeah, I'll order another drink, but they set this glass of water in front of you, and it's like, maybe I should just drink that, because I'm drinking all alcohol at other times.
I think that's why I stuck to the blender drinks, because they're like 50% ice anyway. So it was like you're getting it, even though it's not water.
That is fair. I will say too, it is very obvious that throughout the day, the level of alcohol or how strong the drinks are, it starts very low. And
they know.
They know what they're doing exactly.
But it doesn't matter, because they're so delicious, you don't care. You're like,
yeah, exactly. But by 6 p.m., you're getting an actual drink. But during the day, if you're ordering any of the specialty drinks, they're like, we're going to give you a teaspoon of booze, because you're going to drink 53 of these and you're not going to stop yourself. And you're going to puke.
But I think they get enjoyment in that too.
Yes.
Like they know when they're putting somebody under the table, they're like, yep. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
But yeah, so ton of different drinks. I mean, yeah, just alternate. There wasn't really one you go to, because they just keep changing every day.
Okay, last question. Was there anyone on the island that you recognized, whether for some odd reason you had met them previous in life, or you were like, oh, look, there's Kanye, like, or something like that? Like, no,
not even close. And that was a great part of it. Did not recognize anybody, and I don't think I'll ever see anybody I saw on that trip again in my life.
I feel like that's the kind of trip though, where you like randomly run into like your third grade teacher, you know?
And
you're like, what are you doing here?
Yeah, but that's awesome.
Yeah, I don't think there was anyone. No, can't think of anything.
Cool. Very cool. Well, dude, I'm glad you got some time in the sun. You got some time with your bride. You got some time to like completely unwind from the ice season and enjoy, kind of what you guys celebrated, which was your wedding and, the rest of your life together. Like, that is electric trip. Like, you'll remember that forever.
Oh, yeah. And now, like, we get home and we're officially done with all wedding stuff, because before we left, we made sure we got all of our wedding thank yous done. That is a bear of a task that we definitely procrastinated on, but we did get done right before we flew out the day before. So we got all those done, but now you get back and you're like, okay, all the wedding stuff is done. have gone through the whole thing. So now you're next up. So you get the enjoyment of going through the whole thing.
Awesome.
Oh, awesome.
Except you have Steph, so you're not going to have to do shit.
No, Steph's amazing. Like, we're not going to talk about this long in the pod, but we just did a little family thing with her family on Saturday, and like that's definitely like a question we've fielded now, maybe close to 50,000 times. It's like, oh, have you guys like picked a date or a venue? And we're like, we now have a better answer. We're like, we have a plan for the plan. We're like, after the Bassmaster Classic, we're gonna plan or think about.
We're gonna start thinking about.
We're gonna start dialing something in, because
that's
like
the first step.
Like, you guys know, winter is wild. Like, it is crazy. And like Steph will start to talk to me about stuff, and I'll be like, no, I can't even. She's like, let's dial in a guest list. I'm like, I can't even. Because if you could get a guest
list, yeah, worry about that way after the venue and stuff.
Dude, I can so see Steph right now, though. Her grandma's probably like, oh, yeah, what about this? And Steph's all, after the classic.
After the classic. It's after the classic. That is, yeah. I have to stick to that. Like, I'm like, Mama, I promise after the classic, I'm going to sit down and we're going to get real. We're going to get for real on that.
I'm going to be pumping her tires all weekend, dude.
You should pump my tires up too, dude. Like, I need it.
No, that's a good timeline though, Sobi. Even when I got engaged, because you have like 2 or 3 months of like the engagement bliss and like all the stuff. And then eventually one day you're like, God, fuck, we need to actually do that thing, don't we? So you like, then you like create a like, okay, in a couple weeks, we're going to sit down and like one day just go through a bunch of wedding venues, start focusing. What date do we want to focus on? And
yeah, dude, that makes me feel good by you saying that, because I feel like
it takes a few months to kind of get the ball rolling, but then once it gets rolling, you need to keep it rolling.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes me feel good that you just saying that. Cause I've been like, obviously we haven't like, we haven't like really started, but like we have a plan to start, which is good. And by you saying like, us being, like you said, a couple months in, and I'm like, we haven't like really planned anything. So I'm like, is this not normal? Nobody teaches you this. They don't teach you any of this life stuff in school. Are you kidding me? You know,
you're on good pace too. You got engaged after, it took you 13 years to get engaged. So if you're thinking about maybe starting to plan the wedding in 3 or 4 months, you're way ahead of schedule.
I know. It feels rushed. I'm with you. I could not agree more.
Once you get a year nailed down, I think you'll be well on your way.
You're thinking like 29, 36, 41? Huh? 2041?
The cars will probably
they'll have a venue in mind. They'll have a venue in mind, and they'll be like, "Oh, we're booked out like a ways." And you're like, "Perfect, that's great.
That sounds great." We'll take it.
I will tell you, Sobi, what you should be prepared for when you hear it from her, since you're going to start in the spring. Every venue you contact is going to tell you, like, any date they're talking to you about is not 2026. It is 2027. That's insane. And it's potentially half of them are probably already booked already.
That's crazy, dude. Like, that is crazy. and honestly, like, we haven't done too much digging, but like, dude, for what some of these places charge, I low key, I don't know. Like, I want to like, I'm like, I don't know, for what some of these places charge, I'm like, we could throw the biggest party, like the crazy, we could throw a Project X party for some of these prices.
Oh yeah,
serious.
100%. Just like in the field across.
Like, oh yeah, should we get a helicopter? If we have it in a field, we could probably have Leonard Skinner play there and give helicopter rides. If we just throw it in a farm field,
for real,
probably, yeah. I don't
know.
No,
you could, dude. If you do that and do it yourself, you absolutely can. It's just then eventually, because I went down that road. Because you go down that road for a little bit, and then eventually you're like, but you kind of want the like not typical, but like you kind of want the, and especially Steph will eventually be like, I kind of want to do this, and you're like, well, it's your wedding, so yeah, I get that. Because yeah, you could just throw a hell of a party in a pole shed for that amount of money
and get like a shit ton of fireworks.
Oh, yeah, right, dude. What if we're like, yo, since we saved some money, we got $5,000 in fireworks. Yeah. All the local town fireworks, screw them, dude. Come to our reception.
That'd be sick.
These will be close and personal.
Yeah.
All right, enough of that jazz. Let's get into. We've got an agenda here. Ryan wrote it up. weeks in advance of tonight, and we need to stick to it. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
Okay. What's next? We did some current events. Ryan, hit us.
So we have not done any what in the world is going on in a long time. I got two. They're short. These ones came across my my feed lately and caught my eye. So first one was, did you guys hear about this Lake Erie deal?
No.
These guys that
I saw the videos everywhere. I didn't see really what it was. Fill me in.
Yeah. I mean, it just basically sounded like that some ice fishing guys floated away on a piece of ice, and then they ended up having to rescue them. Like, I think one of the guys they got in a helicopter, and the other guy they got with a boat, but they were like together, two guys and all their stuff. But like normally, like on Red Lake, when people like it's not as big of a deal, right? Yeah. But like on Lake Erie, I feel like it's kind of a big deal.
Yeah,
right?
Probably. Yeah.
But there were some videos where, because I guess they found the guys using like a infrared camera or whatever. So it's like they have some, like the videos look pretty sweet, right? Because they're all like I think at night with infrared stuff. So it looks pretty badass. But apparently like nothing bad happened. So it was like semi uneventful. It was just more of like badass that they had to like get picked up with a helicopter probably. Because even the people
videos, it was intense.
Yeah.
I need to watch.
Like them getting picked up was insanely intense.
Yeah, because I guess they got the helicopter, they said, to 3 feet off the ice. And then the guy like jumped out and like got the guy and like dragged him up into the and like nobody was injured or anything.
Yeah.
Like they were just like on some ice. Like
those dudes that were sitting on standby for like search and rescue, they hit that call and they're like, oh, we've been waiting.
This is my moment.
They send them like they're like
we could just go get them with the John boat, but let's put the chopper up.
I would too, dude. Like I'm with them. I'm with them.
So
like,
I don't know. Like I feel like it was probably fairly anticlimactic overall, but it's I just get a kick out. Like every year this happens to people, it seems, somewhere. And Lake Erie is a big ass lake though.
Yeah.
Like compared to like
some
places around here where you hear about it.
Some would say a Great Lake.
Yeah, but I mean, I think the ice is sketchy fairly regularly. Even
that's what's wild. Yeah, I feel like the ice conditions there, like even on a good year, they're like, oh, it's sketchy, and you're like, this is the best. This is the best ice has been on Erie in years, and they're like, it's sketchy.
Yeah, but anyway, that one kind of caught me because normally when you hear about it, it's like on Red or something like that, where people are like, oh, this ice sheet broke away. But anyway, those guys ended up getting scooped out there. No worse for the wear, probably just a little injured ego on the whole thing. But the other one, this one I thought was interesting, and I dove into this a little bit. I don't know if you guys heard about this one, but there was another we got weights and fish situation in a bass tournament now.
Oh, I saw that blowing up today.
Yeah, and I think there was a tournament over the weekend, I think actually on Sunday, I believe. But the guy actually was arrested.
Where was this at? What state?
This was in Texas. And obviously bass tournaments in Texas is a big deal.
Yeah, dude.
That's this guy, and this was like I think that the first place was like 11 grand, something like that. Like this was like a decent sized regional type tournament. I don't know what trail, Bart, do you know what trail it was a part of or what?
I think it was a part of the Texas Team Trail, but I could be wrong, which is that's like the Alabama Bass Trail of Texas. Like it's
like a decent sized regional.
It is a very big regional tournament trail if it was the Texas Team Trail.
Yeah. And so I guess they got, I didn't get any, like a lot of details around the circumstances about like, obviously what the suspicion was initially, like why they determined that there was like weights in these fish, but it seemed like it wasn't a lot. Like it was like ounces, not like when that walleye thing went down and it was like a crazy amount of lead in these things. So to me, it was like super weird, like that someone would risk that for like seemingly not like a major advantage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the article that I read about it basically said that that penalty or whatever was subject to up to 10 years in prison.
Oh, I bet in Texas too. I bet this has probably been a written law for years, and they were just waiting for somebody to break it. And they're like, dude, he's going to jail.
Yeah, I don't remember if the fine was like 10 G's, I think like a $10,000 fine or more potentially, and up to 10 years in prison.
Oh my.
So, I mean, I'm curious to see like how it ends up panning out, but the guy was actually arrested, like straight up. Like not like all this speculation about this and that. Like they were just like, yup, got him. But it made me think like, I mean, obviously people have been getting busted for this stuff. And like, I feel like people are more aware that like people are checking these type of things, but like, dude, like is like tournament fishing, especially at like this regional level, like maybe not like a Tuesday nighter, right? But like,
yeah,
you get to the point, there's a little more money involved. Like it's not like a pro level event that like, is there that much cheating going on that now people are just starting to get kind of caught doing it? Or is it like this isn't that common? But I don't know. Like it makes you wonder about like how many times are you fishing in an event where you're potentially like definitely fishing against people that have a leg up because they're literally like cheating, especially for weight.
Which sometimes that stuff kind of blows my mind because like, I mean, Ryan, Bart, like you even fished Tuesday nighters for years, like, and I guess maybe because it's more of an intimate weigh-in setting, but like we see other people's fish, like you could see them, and you're kind of like if you've caught bass your whole life, you kind of like know, like, is that 16 pounds or is that 20 pounds? Is that, you know what I mean? Like I don't know. I just don't ever feel like I've been involved in a tournament where like somebody was. I don't know. I've never like looked at fish and been like, nuh-uh. But I feel like I would know, like if somebody like weighed something in and I saw their fish, I'd be like, no, like you would know, dude. That's why I think cheating in fishing tournaments is crazy. If you fish a lot, which everybody who fishes tournaments fishes a lot. So like, you'd be like, I don't know. I just think it's wild to try to even get away with, like, when you look at like a 3-pounder and a 3.5 pounder,
Sobi. But
right? Like, when you
yes,
when you get like a 3-pounder or 3.5 pounder, or sometimes you can, dude, how good you guys are at probably judging fish at times. Like, like,
yeah. But then it's like, but like this one where you're talking ounces, dude.
Why would they do that?
But I'm just saying, like, I don't know that I would identify like a 3 1/4 versus a 3.5 just by looking at it in the bin.
First, I'm assuming I saw kind of some of the blowback on this. I'm assuming that people were suspicious of this guy for a while because I've seen some of the stuff that's been shared and people are like, finally, type of deal. So I think maybe it was a thing where they've had it under a microscope. I don't know. Once again, I'm not familiar totally with the situation, but it seems like from the blowback that is something that's there. But something interesting, I think, I mean, you guys should read. So when I was on my honeymoon, I had a bunch of books. I read through one. One of them I read, you probably heard about on BTL and stuff. It was written by Rob Newell. It's Egos, Logos, and Fishing Pros. Incredible read about tournament bass fishing, the heydays of it, where it is now, where it's going. Really, really good read. And part of it in it talks about how recently there's been different cheating scandals coming up. And it talks about different points of, is this something we haven't read or haven't seen in forever, or what's maybe to be of cause? And something that I kind of related to in it, and I think that's important to remember is, maybe it's not, has this always been happening or what is it? But I think there's a multitude of factors. Number one, there's way more tournaments now than there ever was before. Way more tournaments now than there ever was before. So the opportunity for something like that to come up incredibly high compared to before. Also social media. So for it to get out there, people just wait for negative news, whatever, to share, and just nobody enjoys doing something more than bashing someone online. So when something like that happens, I mean, rightfully so, nobody should ever cheat in any events like that. It is a felony. So like you're seeing, but that is another part of it. But I think what doesn't get talked about a lot is there's this huge boom that happened with high school fishing and college fishing and COVID and all these people got into the sport, got into tournament fishing, and now are getting involved. And one of the things that has kind of gone by the wayside with the explosion of college and high school fishing and just the amount of new people and youth, there's a lot of moms and dads getting their kids into fishing that they didn't fish tournaments. There is way, way, way less sportsmanship, like maybe not camaraderie, but like ethics, different stuff taught that
etiquette.
When you're brought up, etiquette,
sure.
yeah, when you're brought up by you have someone you look up to, like, I started fishing tournaments and like Aaron Niederheiser or Billy Bartusek or guys like that kind of taught me the way of like, this is what you do, this is what you don't do, this is how you take care of fish, stuff like that. So I think I'm saying in a roundabout
like a lot
way
of new players to the game that don't necessarily understand how the game's played.
Yes. And not to say that they aren't told like, hey, cheating's bad. They're obviously told cheating's bad, don't do that. But when you're not paved this way, you know what I mean? Like, you're not driven down this road.
You don't understand these gray areas and like what's okay, what's not okay.
Yeah. And all that, and say that sort of stuff. So there's a lot of people who their ethics and morals and etiquette are much closer to being on the bad side than where maybe some other people are, they would never even question that. It's not even in their brain. They would never even think about it. Well, there's all these people who haven't even been taught that. So now there's all these instances coming up and people not sharing water correctly and etiquette and stuff. Now, once again, is that me saying that that's why people are cheating more? No, I just think there's a multitude of factors that are starting to add up now. Maybe where people are starting to see that.
Like there's a line and maybe some of these people don't understand like what is across that line, right? Like,
yes.
Like fishing.
And the book talked a lot about that.
Yeah.
It talks about a ton of stuff, dude. Ton of stuff.
Wow.
Ton of stuff. It's really cool.
Say the title of the book again.
Egos, Logos, and Fishing Pros. And it goes through the heydays of when tournaments started. It goes through the ESPN days. It talks about what people want to hear about some of the money that old time pros were getting for contracts and stuff. They have that in there. They don't have particular people that they got what some of the contracts were. And it is stupid. And how some of the money's gone away and changed. And it's just interesting because Pink, you texted me the Zaldanes did a great podcast with the lady who I can't remember her name. I wish I could remember her name, but she negotiated the NBA CBA.
The NBA, Yep.
She's a badass, like multi-billion-dollar CBA.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be honest, like I do not listen to a lot of stuff like that, or like really podcasts in general. Like that is not my platform that I consume a lot of media on, but that one was a topic that I was super interested in. And it was very well done. Not that I'm like a major fan of theirs or whatever, but I would highly recommend listening to that to anyone that just generally likes the sport of fishing. Even if you're not like somebody that's like, oh, dude, I want to be a professional, just like kind of understanding a little bit more about like where fishing sits in comparison to other professional sports.
And why. And then you read this book as well. And it backs up the same stuff of there's not one big entity anymore. There's three professional organizations. There's money getting split everywhere. There's a bunch of people who are, there's a bunch of people who would rather scrape by for a full-time job rather than create professional athletes who are making millions under one entry. Like, and it basically just goes through a bunch of things saying that if a bunch of anglers and everything would work together, there would be $1 million fishermen. There would be $1 million deals. Yeah. There would be stuff like that going on.
I was looking at this through the perspective of like, from myself, right? Like, am I an elite? I'm not going to be an Elite Series pro, and that's fine. But I do like competition. I like fishing tournaments. I like the whole like community of tournament fishing, especially around like like obviously I've fished other tournaments, muskie tournaments and stuff like that too. But like the competitive bass fishing space, it's super interesting to me. I like the whole aspect of it, and that like the smaller regional, even Tuesday nighter level, like when you start thinking about like that, and then the stuff you're bringing up where it's like, okay, maybe you're fishing against people that have different like morals than you about what's okay, what's not. And like, yeah, I'm a part of it because I want to compete. Like, I'm not just there. Like, yes, I do it for fun, but it's like you fish a tournament because you would like to do well and like potentially win. Right. And you really start to think about like, am I is this, granted, there's a lot of different skill levels out there, right? Like even if you compete in a Tuesday nighter, there's really good guys all the time. People always catch them, but it's like, are you competing against people that are creating their own competitive advantage, and not because they're super skilled, but because they found other ways to whatever pad the numbers, right? So, that's just always interesting to me to like hear stories like this one come up, especially when they're not necessarily on, like, if this would have been like an MLF or a Bassmaster tournament, okay, yes, it's a big deal because it's at the pro level, but this is a little more relatable because you're like, this was just a tournament probably anybody could have been in, right? And
but I would say with the Texas, if I should look up, I think it was a Texas team trail I saw in the pictures. That's the Champions Tour up here.
Yeah, that's basically
yeah, that's not, it's not
double
like
A,
a
single A
Tuesday
baseball,
night or
double A
something. It's
baseball.
right below the opens. Like, it's
I understand that, but it's still, I mean, it's like,
it's
yes,
more
the guys are,
but I'm saying it's a very big in a region, which I get what you're saying. And I was more of saying with that other stuff in relation to the book. There's just a lot of really great stuff you could read of and stuff in professional fishing of why it is certain views of why it might be where it is right now. But yeah, in terms of that cheating stuff, there's a lot of weird stuff going on. I don't think it personally happens that much.
I was going to say, I don't get that vibe either, where it's like, oh, all over, like every tournament, you got to be worried about this. Like, I think it, like to Sam's point, I think it kind of, it weeds itself out, right? Like people
it weeds itself out, but then also I think sometimes I know myself, like I lose the magnitude of probably how big like local fishing tournaments are. Like in our area, we've got a few different Tuesday nighters, a few different Wednesday nighters, some Monday nighters, like the Denny's. Like just in our area in the metro, there's a lot of different leagues running. Now you times like actual bass country, like how many different counties and areas in Alabama is that going on, in Tennessee? And like, hell yeah, dude, you got a lot of anything. There's going to be plenty of bad apples. And I'm sure it probably happens more than we probably like to think, but like, yeah.
But I think it depends on the person too. Cause like, granted, like, yeah, we do like Tuesday nighters for fun, right? Or you know, and then you kind of like, you fish champs tours, like kind of a level up and everything. But it's like, for some people, like those Tuesday nighters is their Super Bowl, man. Like there's people that it's like, that is their life, man. Like,
yeah, you're looking at them, dude. Like, yeah.
But I mean, like, that's what I'm saying. So it's like, there's people that, even though it doesn't seem like, wow, that's like a crazy big deal, it's like they're so invested in it that, you know, maybe they are willing to do crazy stuff to get a dub. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even though
it's also, I mean, you can compare it to other sports in the sense of like you know, with golf, you got your men's golf league.
Sure.
You know, they go out every week. Guy wins $100 in skins or whatever it is playing against his buddies.
Yeah.
But that's
another gentleman's game
of it too, right?
Yeah.
Is that it is super competitive, even on a small scale.
It is. Yeah. It's super competitive, even on a small scale, but also like the whole cheating aspect with anything, especially in fishing, like, we're not going to go down this trail, but like, they don't even respect the sport or they don't respect it if they do it one time, dude. You don't cheat. If you love fishing, like even to an nth degree of what so many people do, like that shit does not cross your brain because you respect like winning in fishing, even on a Tuesday night level, happens like pretty little. That it's so freaking awesome. Or honestly, it's not even if you're fishing a tournament, like actually catching them, really catching them happens much less than it does when you don't catch them or catch them okay or medium. That like when it comes together and it comes together in an actual sanctioned deal, even if it's against 15, 20 boats, like if you understand and respect that and know how hard that is, even on a very local level, you would never take that away from even yourself or others of like, yeah, it's an accomplishment. It's an accomplishment to
really
win
is.
against. It is. Yeah.
That's where I brought up there's a lot of people I think that haven't been raised through the etiquette or the hey, when you win it's a big deal, or winning is really hard, and like it, getting third is an accomplishment. You don't catch their ass
or when
time.
somebody else wins, that's like a big
deal.
Cool.
Yeah, it's really cool, dude. Yeah, it's like a respect thing all around. Yeah.
So, and that's part of that. So I don't think, like I said, I don't think it happens that much. I do think one thing though too that it's important to touch on is, in regard to any other sport or hobby or anything there is no sport or anything of people who, when they lose, will with whether they think they have an inkling of someone cheating or not, nobody loses fairly in fishing. They always figure out a way to say someone else cheated. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, I hear more complaining from anglers of like, oh, they're always doing something, or they're shady, I don't trust them, rather than congratulations. Like, you get what I'm saying, Sobi? It happens a lot more in fishing than any other sport.
Totally. And I think you're right. It happens a lot more in fishing, but I think it actually happens. I was thinking about that same concept the other day. I think it happens in every sport, just in the sport of bass fishing. There's not like refs or umpires, because like, dude, you see an intense high school basketball, hockey, or football game go down, and those parents and those kids afterwards are going to be like, they are going to see a whole game and they are going to pinpoint those couple of calls that the refs made. And like, they're going to pinpoint like, oh, well, the first couple innings, freaking ump called everything outside of strike. That's a bunch of bullshit. And that was our top dude that we had in their pitching, started the game, freaking loaded the bases, and somebody cracked a double, and it's like scored him 3 runs out the gate. Like, if that ump wouldn't have called shitty calls in the first, you know what I mean? Like, everybody will take a whole game and pinpoint a couple things, like, that are
boil it down to this is why we lost.
Anglers will take a whole tournament. Like, you were casting for 8 hours and didn't catch them, and you will find the one thing where like, well, that dude rolled up over there after I was there and actually ended up getting those fish to bite. Like, you know what I mean? Like, dude, I think we do it in every sport. Probably we see it differently in each sport, and I could be wrong, but maybe.
For sure. No, I totally get what you mean.
But I think, to Sam's point though, it's like, it is an interesting sport in that way. It's just like, it's so different. And like, especially like in college, like when we were doing all the college fishing stuff, like you'd go to those tournaments, and obviously at that time that was our like, dude, we're at the top, you know what I mean? And like, it really felt like more legit, right? Than like a club tournament. And it's like, to be on like that level, and then to think that somebody might potentially cheat at that is like crazy.
Well, I remember back in the day being like, well, McKendree, they have a coach, and they've got all these team, and they come together,
and they bring,
share
waypoints,
and they bring 20 waypoints. They got coaches and all this stupid stuff. We don't even talk to our other teammates on our team because we're gritty like that. Like, we ain't sharing anything, and they're sharing waypoints in. And of course, they broke down all of Kentucky Lake, and we had no clue if this was happening or not. But like, after a couple of beers, and like, it was though. We don't know.
The true question here though is do you think, I mean, based off your guys' previous episode conversation, is this just chapter 2 in the Netflix documentary? There's another plant. Because there's nothing that brings fishing to the national media more.
They're just lighting off a couple more fireworks over there just to get things popping.
I just saw that and I was like, God damn, not again.
I thought everything but fishing was a simulation, and now that I know that fishing is a simulation, my brain is blowing up internally.
Dude, fishing's all luck anyway.
It was a great combo you guys had with Bartik. I greatly enjoyed it.
Did you catch a couple of it?
It was great. I will, however, I am going to clarify, because I listened to one part of Alex saying something, and I was like, this is 100% false. When you guys were talking about forward facing, and he was like, like golfers go out there and restrict their drivers and golf balls and all that. 1,000% they do. 100%. Yeah. There are regulations on drivers, shaft length, golf balls, everything in golf. So I just wanted to clarify that. That is, there is clubs you can't use. There is certain degrees and angles you can't. There's regulations on that stuff.
And I'd like to clarify this
so
too.
Just to clarify that,
Alex Barrick owes Adam Bartushik 18 holes of golf in Texas. But
and a flight there.
Yeah, and the flight. I think Adam would take a different state to a different flight if arrangements were made. But Alex Barrick, I think you do owe Adam Bartushik a round of golf and a plane ticket. So I think
that is still true. Yeah, like 12 years.
Valid. However, even though the information was false, I do still think it got the point across in the conversation.
It did get the point across, and we do joke around and throw stuff around and are sarcastic sometimes, or a lot of times. I just heard that and I was like, whoa.
In our defense,
we need to clarify
he was talking to the people that give the least shits about golf probably in the world. So
I heard that, and you guys were just like,
me and Ryan are like,
yeah, you were like, yeah,
I feel that
100% for sure. And I'm like,
that
these guys
seems
didn't
right.
even play golf at my bachelor party because they play so little golf. They would have ruined it for everybody else. So in my head, I was like, they're just agreeing with him, but they legitimately have no clue. And I was like, I'm just going to have to bring this up on the podcast.
Adam made a tee time and did not even invite us. He just went, they'll be back at their Airbnb. They could fish or do whatever.
Like, you guys can go fishing. You guys had a blast.
We had a way better time.
Thank you.
We had a way better time doing what we were
doing. Still did not miss golf. But yeah, out of the conversation, it was all fantastic. I thought it was really great. But yeah, that was the one I was like, hell yeah, defend forward facing sonar, and then I heard that and I was like, whoa, bad analogy.
Well, I'd like to think the people that I would relate with got that. You know?
100%. Yeah, for sure.
But yes, no, that was all good. But all right, let's dive into a little bit of what we got coming up here.
I'll say I got what in the world's going on real quick.
Oh,
for everybody.
You do? All right, yeah, fire it out.
Well, it got announced today. Classic Bass Champions Tour is having their first ever walleye event.
This is going to be sick.
So Lake Mille Lacs. It will be. This is for anybody who wants to fish it. It's open to the general public. Registration will be in a week. It will be. It is Tuesday, May 19th. So it's 2 pound minimum catch, weigh, release. Every fish you can catch. Live baits allowed. Trolling's allowed. Landing nets are allowed.
Let me ask this dumb question. Has there been an every fish counts format in walleye fishing?
So actually, I texted Brett McComas about this, our boy at Target Walleye. He's interviewing Dane. They're going to be doing an article, I believe, about it. And I asked if there's been one. I thought he said there'd been one he knew of, and I don't know. Okay. I have no idea. To my knowledge, I don't think
new then to like walleye.
Yeah, there might have been one, but other than that, there hasn't. So I'm really and if it did happen, he said it was in 2017-ish. It was pre-forward-facing sonar.
Yeah, no, I think I like this because especially for guys that do fish walleye tournaments, like competitively, that are like really into it already. There's a lot of nuance to walleye fishing tournaments that there is not in bass fishing, like some of these lakes with slot sizes and having to catch certain fish at kind of the right time, right? Versus just like go out there and blast them and just do what you're good at. So I think this will be an interesting format to see kind of who comes out on top of this, because I think you had mentioned something to this before, but I mean, there's some like bass guys that are probably going to fish this, right? And
I think go head to head with some said that pretty heavy hitters.
Yeah. And then if this is open, this is an open field, like there's going to be probably some NWT guys that jump in on this.
So that is the only thing is I think it is the same week as an NWT tournament on Oahe. Okay. But kind of, I mean, so I obviously help with the Champions Tour a lot. Dane will speak with it wherever he feels. But I know that a lot of it was like trying to get more people involved in the walleye world too, of like the NWT's the Elite Series, dude. Like those are pro guys. The Champions Tour, we have some Elite Series guys fish, but like we're not made for those guys necessarily, you know? So if it fits their schedule and they want to come do it, they totally can. I hope they do, but there's a ton of general public that wants to fish that event. I think it'll be $1,000 entry. It's 60 boats. So first place with a full field was $17,500. We're going to film it just like we have every other Champions Tour event. I'm super hyped for this because, like, I was talking with Brett Carlson about it, and we'll probably do some preview stuff for it with him. I just, like, there's so little coverage of walleye tournaments and everything. I just don't know how many, my brain can't comprehend how many walleyes a walleye pro catches during a walleye tournament and, like, goes through culling and decisions.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, in my mind, even watching tour level gold, I'm like, they caught 7 walleyes. They probably caught way more. It's just like, you know what I mean? Also, I just have no concept.
Yeah. And you see, like, some of these guys in practice, like, I've talked to some of these guys that do this, you know, at the NWT level, and, like, they even talk about how it's like, dude, I know where I could go and catch 100 fish, but I'm not going to do that because I need to catch 7 that are big. You know what I mean? And, like, so I think that doing this format is really kind of like shaking things up, I think, as far as how, like, just the strategy of the whole thing for guys that already do walleye tournaments, right? Like, I think there's probably some people that maybe don't do any tournaments that might jump into this just because they love Mille Lacs or they think they're good out there. But
I think there could be some bass dudes that jump in and go.
That's what we were talking about.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I could catch 100 walleyes in Mille Lacs against anybody tomorrow, and I'm efficient and fast. Like, you might see some bass dudes jump in and be like,
do well.
I think I'm gonna take John Hoyer's money.
Yeah, or they're gonna be scoping next to a guy who's using a night crawler and really realize really quickly how shitty their minnow they're shaking is.
Right.
Serious.
I will say during that week of fishing, it's going to be tough to get a dozen night crawlers in anywhere around Mille Lacs. Probably.
Oh yeah, well there's I think there's an MTT that weekend on Mille Lacs too. So this tournament's on a Tuesday. And I believe there's an MTT on Mille Lacs Saturday and Sunday. So guys who fish that, they're eligible to fish the Champions Tour one too. So, like, you can, I mean, dude, if you want to try to make some money on Mille Lacs in like a week, you can make a lot of money on Mille Lacs in a week. So
God, I think it would be super interesting if I understand that it's probably during like a practice period or whatever for that NWT, depending on how it shakes out. But, like, I feel like there's got to be some guys that are already being like, could I do both? Like, could I make that drive?
So part of me thinks there might be some guys that do that because, to my knowledge, the NWT doesn't have cutoff practice.
Okay.
So if guys, you know what I mean? Like, if you're 180 and you live on Mille Lacs all the time,
right.
It's like, and you go practice on a wahi and you know where they're at and you got your teams that they do in the NWT, what's to stop you from running back home for a day or two to just try to cash a check? Because that is one thing about those professional walleye guys, dude. Those guys fish more tournaments just back to back to back in a row than anybody I've seen. So I wouldn't be surprised if some of them do show up, because I think it's going to be cool. I think it's going to be a pretty sweet inaugural event. I'm really hyped about the 2-pound minimum. So, you know, you won't have your little cigar walleyes. Like, I think a 2-pounder in the walleye world is about 15 inches, 15 to 16, maybe 17, depending on the time of year.
Maybe it's bigger. Maybe it's even 16 to.
I'm really curious. I mean, I love to walleye fish. I do not do it competitively, though. But I will say I am super curious to see what kind of weights end up getting built on an every fish count. Well, over 2 pounds, but like generally every fish counts format for walleye anglers on a pretty damn good walleye fishery. Like,
I think
it could be awesome.
And I think it's going to be really cool for the general public, just in the sense of, so like with bass tournaments and everything, people aren't catching bass to eat. A lot of it is sport fishing and weighing fish in tournaments. You know, walleye fishing, the top end, there's all these weird slots and guys catching big fish and fishing Great Lakes fisheries or stuff that other people don't go to. Like, this tournament is made, and if you're watching it, how do I catch the most walleyes possible on Lake Mille Lacs? You are literally going to see how do you catch the most walleyes possible on Lake Mille Lacs? And a lot of those fish are probably going to be eater class fish, because as you know from fishing the Champions Tour, Sobi, you don't go target the biggest fish. You need a good average.
And I would personally, like I want to go do some Mille Lacs walleye fishing this year, and I'm not a well-versed walleye angler. I am an angler, and I do catch walleyes, and I do target walleyes. I want to know if throwing a jig and min or a jig and crawler on the bottom is the best way to go out and absolutely slam, or is Hunter Nitty going to go out there and throw a slip bobber and slam, or somebody going to go throw a swim bait and some cabbage and slam, or is somebody going to be dragging a Ned rig and they're like, they caught 100 walleyes on a Ned rig, and I'm like, okay, game on. Like, as far as efficiency goes, maybe throwing an artificial might be more efficient. Maybe somebody just blasts them on, a Ned BLT or a little Z-Man TRD, and they just found the wad. Like, it's going to be inaugural for a lot of different reasons.
I think it's gonna be sick. And boys, we'll figure this out. I mean, we'll chat with Dane. I have obviously do a lot of the media stuff over there, but we're trying to figure out ways of presenting this event and doing some new and fun things. Like, should we maybe have like the PTB boys on site during the day, like helping cover it, and we could do PTB stuff?
That could be cool. If the nation is open to it.
Yeah, like, do people want to see that? Like, I don't know. I think there's a lot of fun stuff we could do with it. And since it's a single event, like, you know what I mean? Like, do we do because we'll be filming the Champions Tour video the way we normally do. But I'm thinking of how do we cover this event and make it the most visibly accessible walleye tournament anybody has ever seen on one of the most prolific walleye fisheries in the world.
I think us three especially are in a perfect position to chirp and judge the competition while appreciate it, because a lot of them are our friends at the same time. But all three of us
we're like, I can't catch walleyes better.
All three of us are not prolific walleye anglers. So like, I feel like we're in a real sweet spot here where we're like, we give them a lot of shit, but at the same token, respect the hell out of what they're doing too. But also,
and they give it back and we'll be like, valid.
I'll be like, no, I get it. Like, night crawlers are super lethal. Like, like, I mean, live baits move on some. I'm saying
I did when we were going
I might buy like, I don't know, like 100 pounds of worms and just sell them at the boat ramp.
Dude,
Ryan would totally scalp
I
worms.
will get it. I mean, I bait dealer license, no problem. Like
dude trapped snapping turtles and got licensed for it. You think he's not going to be there scalping?
You think we don't have a bait dealer's license? PTB? Yeah. Okay.
You think we want to have Tom Boley on as a special guest? We're capable.
We get a PTB bait distributor license, and we hire a couple high schoolers for the couple weeks leading up. We just go position one at Liberty Beach, one down in Isle, one over at Garrison, whatever. They just have a little lemonade stand. Dude, we could make so much money that week.
What is that? What's that pyramid scheme that they used to sell for like Tupperware? That was so big back in the day.
Oh, I just thought of Mary Kay, but that's not it.
but kind of just like that. I could see we just get outed for starting a crawler pyramid scheme. We got all these high school kids working for us.
Dude, but like
if you get your buddy to grab night crawlers and go sell them at the other lake, then he'll get paid too, and you'll get paid for what he sells. Mom calls us, are you running a worm farm and pyramid scheme? No.
I believe so. Yeah,
they deserved it. Dudes in $120,000 boats were making the drive to the north end of the lake just to get a little bit better deal on the same worms that we're selling on the south end.
They were from the same farm. Same kid grabbed
we bait distribute. Yeah, we easy.
Oh, I love it. Okay, let's move on.
Yeah, sorry. I wanted to bring that one up. I think it's going to be the great start of something really cool. Catch, record, release walleye derbs.
I think so too.
I'm excited about it. I think it's going to be entertaining.
This is a perfect segue to another fairly large fishing event taking place next week. Boys, it's time to get into this. We got the Bassmaster Classic coming up next week. This is the Super Bowl of professional bass fishing going
Catalina wine mixer.
Tennessee freaking River, boys.
This is Knoxville, baby. This is Knoxville. This is an incredible town, an incredible venue, and a fairly stingy fishery. And the weather is setting up very interesting. I will say the reigning champion in Knoxville is a Canadian and a friend of the pod, and he goes by the name of Jeff Gustafson. And the crazy thing about this is he unlocked the secrets to that river a few years back, and he took it home. The interesting thing about this classic is he is not participating in it. So everybody and their brother has seen the coverage. They've seen how he caught him. They know the best way to potentially do it. And the man that's name was on that area in that spot, who, if anybody had any etiquette, would leave it alone and give it to him, he's not going to be there competing. It's freaking wide open.
The interesting thing is the previous classic champ, who also won, and this exact same location, Ott Defoe, also not competing in this one. So both the people that have won classics on this body of water, not in it.
This is interesting. This is really, really, really interesting. And I think we're going to see a lot of action here. I don't know exactly how far along the fish are going to be there. Maybe Adam or Ryan have some insight on that, but like, I'll be interested to see, does it go down in the same areas or the same general area that Gussie was catching them? Does Ott Defoe's areas play? Do shallow power fishermen end up grinding out 17 pounds a day and take it home? Or do some of these phenomenal young gun scopers absolutely unlock secrets with different new baits and way better technique scoping than there was back when Jeff won it? Like, what's your predictions, Adam?
Well, I think there's a couple very key factors here that were not in play previously when they were there. Number one, the size limit on these pools has changed on Fort Loudon and Tellico. So I believe now it is 15 inches all across the board. So if you remember back when Gussie was doing the smallmouth thing, one of the reasons it was so crazy and such a big deal was, in order for him to keep a smallmouth, it had to be 18 inches.
Risky. It was risky.
And he caught a lot of smallmouth that were 16 3/4, 17 1/2. So from reports from a lot of people is there is a pile of 15 1/2 to 17 1/2 inch smallmouth in there now. So I don't think it's going to be nearly as hard as it was before. However, for people to get limits that are like 2 to 3 pounders. So there's going to be a lot more 12 to 15 pound bags. However, a huge factor in this that has come up out of nowhere that everyone's a little mystified by is there are like 8 to 11 pounders that have shown up in here for some reason.
Really?
Yeah. There are guys catching really big ones, like double digits. Not a lot of them, but they're in there. I don't know if it's like they got up their Florida strains that got through. I don't know if they're just really big northern strain largemouth. But there's very, very big largemouth that have been caught in pre-practice. And then nobody's really posting any pictures right now because it's so early. But there has been reports of some crazy big kicker fish. So there's going to be some very big weight swings because you're going to be able to get a consistent bag. And then you're going to be home run swinging for a freakazoid largemouth. It sounds like that's what it sounds like to me is going to be kind of one of those winning patterns. Pink, you got anything else there?
Yeah, I mean, I think the difference in potentially this classic versus like a Gussie classic is just that the fish are way further along now than they were then. So he was fishing more like wintering area smallmouth is essentially like really what it was, like fish that were transitioning out of that. And I think right now, especially from some of the preview reports that I've seen, is that a lot of the fish are actually probably closer to spawn than they are to where they were wintering. And with the warm weather that's been going on there, the water temps are climbing pretty quickly. Obviously, there is like a bit of a cold front coming over the weekend. That I think will change that a little bit, but I think there's going to be some sneaky stuff, especially some areas where some warm water might get held in that could potentially play, and it could go down a lot shallower than I think maybe some people would anticipate, especially with how it was won here previously. But either way, I think it's going to be a lot of, obviously people are going to be scoping pretty hard to find, especially these rando giant ones, if they can get on one, because one bite could make or break your whole deal here. So I'm really curious to see like at what stage the fish are once, you know, people actually start catching them and talking about what's going on. But I do think that it's going to be like a game where people could find something deep that, you know, they might find some fish that haven't pulled off of some of these deeper areas yet, but to the point where some guys might be finding fish that are pushing up into extremely shallow water already, and more of like a power fishing game could really play, even though it's been such a heavily, you know, like live sonar type tournament, that there's going to be guys doing both and probably excelling at both too. But
this is going to be cool in a land where 15 pounds is pretty solid bag. Like if someone is following or chasing around a 5 to a 10-pound bass, like that is half the bag per near of a pretty solid bag out there. Like that's where
yeah, it's been and like you've seen that in the pre-reports too, right, Pink? Like they've been talking about random freak fish.
Yeah, I heard kind of that, and that just with, you know, this will be the first classic on this location that has live sonar.
Yeah, I mean, Gussie had Mega Live 1, but also nobody was like, dude, no, it was such a different time.
Yeah.
Like people didn't know what was going on with stuff then, dude.
But no. I just think, I mean, I think the potential is there for probably both, right? I think there's going to be guys that probably can find a very consistent average that could do really well. But then there's going to be guys that maybe have unlocked or figured out a way to target these bigger fish more consistently that might be willing to roll the dice on a less productive pattern to potentially connect on just one of those.
I'm excited because like you guys said, there's a lot of different things going on. It's cool that there's smallmouth and largemouth in the mix, and it's cool that they've been here before, but the classic we see here this round will be nothing like the classics we've seen in previous rounds. I was there to see Ott Defoe's win. I was there to see Gussie's win. This will not be like that. This will not be like that. The fishing industry, as far as baits and technology and just skill level of anglers and how they approach it, like it's going to be different. It's going to be really freaking interesting.
And the one thing,
what number of classic is this for you, Sobi?
Not a million by any means. I saw Ott Defoe when he won there was my very first classic. Knoxville, Tennessee was my very first
2019.
Classic. Yeah. And then I never missed one after that. I missed one of them after that. So
this would be like your sixth one.
Maybe my fifth or
seventh.
Maybe
2026, bro. So you'd have 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, miss one, 7.
I missed one in there, so maybe 6 or 7.
Yeah, nice. It's you're racking up. You're seasoned vet of the classic now.
I feels like yesterday I was watching Ott Defoe and I tried to get in the upper level of the lower level seats, and the only area that was open when Ott Defoe won was the family section. And Brock and I got kicked out of there because we tried to sneak in behind the guard, and they're like, "No, you're not related to anybody." And he told us to get out, and then we went up in the nosebleeds and enjoyed the show, and it was freaking electric all out. And I will say, if anybody's on the fence about going, like maybe they live a couple hours away or 1 hour away or 5 hours away, and they're like, maybe we'll go. You should go, dude. Like seeing a classic, it's goosebumps, dude. And a friend of the pod, Dave Mercer, and the whole crew at Bassmaster, like,
yeah, and Dave's like heavily involved in this.
They do an amazing job.
Yeah. And I will say last year was my first classic, and I'm going to do everything in my power to never miss another one. It is an incredible experience. And like, granted, we've gotten to know a lot of people in the fishing industry over the years, and like, it's cool to see a bunch of people, you know, there too. But dude, there is some serious magic in that final day weigh-in and just being in the pits with everybody when it goes down. And it's a badass place. The expo is super cool. I'm very excited for Knoxville. I think this is going to be, like, everyone has talked about how this is the best venue to watch a classic at, and I'm really
everything is so centralized, like from the arena to the expo to where they launch the boat is all like within a square couple mile vicinity, where like in other classics, sometimes they're fishing a location. They have to bring the fish 45 minutes to an hour, some back, where like you can wake up in the morning, go watch these guys blast off, and then like go walk down the street to where the expo is, and then walk from the expo to where they weigh these fish in a sweet arena. Like it is all right there. So it's a, just like Ryan said, the venue is incredible. And I love, it's going to be a grinder throughout, and it's going to be really interesting to see like somebody's life is going to get changed, dude. There's going to be a new Bassmaster Classic champion.
Like I said, having experience for the first time last year, there's two things I absolutely love about the Classic. One is for the anglers and watching it go down, and like just, you know, the general hype around the guys actually fishing, is that this is the only tournament their whole year that points do not matter. Like everyone is there just swinging. Like winning is the only thing that matters at this tournament. And I think that's badass to just take it. This isn't like I'm going to lay up because I got to finish at least middle of the pack. Like you can zero or hero at this thing and just go down swinging, and it doesn't matter at the end of the day.
So much beauty in that, where you get to see dudes. And this is where like, because that's where it's hard. Like we play fantasy fishing. It's hard to like pick who you think's going to win, because there's seasoned veterans there who don't care if Brandon Polnick gets on a bite where he goes, I can maybe catch 4 bass a day, but they're all largemouth, but they all weigh 4 to 10 pounds. He goes, I don't give a shit. I do not care. I don't care if I blank, because I might win. Like that is the patterns and the areas these guys are fishing. And it just makes for such a freaking, it's a sweet deal. It's so sweet. They don't care. They put it all on the line. They're swinging. They're literally swinging. They're swinging.
But here's the other thing I absolutely love about the Classic. Granted, it's a very cool event and the whole thing, but the one thing that I think is so cool, and I was there every single day last year for the entire expo, the whole thing. I didn't miss a minute of this thing, and I plan on doing the same thing this year, is that expo, dude, is full of nothing but people that are obsessed with the sport of bass fishing. And it's not like going to the sport show, like, here, or even going to the ice show, where it's like, yes, people like to ice fish for all these different things. Everyone there loves tournament bass fishing, and it is an electric environment, and it is like the best sports show of all time. It really is. It's so cool. And you run into a lot of cool people there, a lot of cool products, companies, all kinds of stuff. And I'm looking forward to it. And I know like every Classic is, very different in that way, but like I think this one's going to be super cool.
Yeah, it will be.
Jelly, you boys.
I want to hear the picks, dude. I want to hear your picks. I'll
go.
Hit me.
I thought about this a lot, and like I put in probably more time on this lineup than ones in a very long time, but I feel confident in my picks. And I think that I have a diverse enough lineup that I have my bases covered here. So I do feel good about this. So A bucket, obviously, like the Classic's weird because like you just said, Sam, like there are people willing to essentially risk it all here.
And the A bucket is stacked.
It is. Yeah. And so I went with my gut here, and I did take Trigger Trey. Dude did exceptionally good in the Classic last year. I think he's an angler that actually does extremely well under pressure, and that exactly what the Classic is. And I think that he can do it this time.
He got second last year, dude. Like he got second.
He did. And
nobody talks about it, but he got second. He literally was this close to being champion.
Yeah, and I do think this sets up pretty good for him. I mean, I knew he definitely is like super good with forward-facing sonar, but he's also very good at power fishing. And I think both things are going to play big time here. Bucket B, I'm never betting against John Cox again. And I think this could be one where he finds something super greasy. And I would love nothing more than to watch him go wire to wire, dude, doing something nobody else found.
In a place that everybody thinks smallmouth is going to win, I would love to watch John Cox win this classic up some crazy area that he found the warmest water, and it's got all freaking buckets in it. And he's like, I'm throwing around a little general, and I'm just like whopping them. And we're like, John, how'd you get there? The camera boats can't even find you. And he's like, I don't know, I was just fishing. Like, I would love that, dude. I mean, like, I'd love that. Yeah. Great pick.
All right, bucket C. I went Bill Lowen. I just think, God, he's just, if it gets to a power fishing game and he's up there just grinding away, I think he's really got
you're betting on the shallow
stuff that I think he could do really well here.
You're betting on the shallow game here, dude.
Okay, and then I'll just go D. I went Fisher Anaya, and then E bucket Lake or Howell.
I like it. Very strong lineup. Bart, hit us.
Okay, I'll go through my lineup here just for a record again for people. I am actively trying to pick the absolute worst lineup you can until Sobi follows through on his bet that he has yet to follow through on. So if you're an Elite Series angler, I apologize because I know there's actually quite a few of you who listen to this. So if I say your name, no, I feel bad.
He thinks you're going to do bad. That's
I
what he's
do,
saying.
and it's Sobi's fault because otherwise I would.
Does he though? I feel like he's low key. Okay, I feel like he's low key playing Murphy's Law. Okay, continue.
No, I actually was so good at picking terrible at the last event, other than Zaldain making the last day. It kind of So,
but throwing this out to PTB Nation, do you think that's just a cover for picking shitty lineups?
No, I'm like very, I mean, you could say that, but I am actively trying to.
That's what I'm saying.
Very bad
I am saying
lineup. But yeah, I will continue to do this because fantasy fishing doesn't matter. It's all a joke and everything's a lie because Sobi won't follow through on anything. He's a man of no integrity. So I will follow.
Really
up with
spoken like someone who took last place previously.
Yep. I'm hoping to take last place. That is the goal. I would like.
You're on track to go back to back.
Bucket A. Let's hear it.
So actually, like you guys said, this bucket is shit stacked. So it's really hard to pick someone you think's going to do really bad. I went with Lee Livesey. I think he's going to have a terrible tournament.
It's going to be a tough day to be a bush light down there, huh?
I think it's going to be a bad day to be a bush light. Bucket B, I think low key actually is a very, very good bucket as well. I think there's a handful of people in here could do really, really well. However, Tyler Williams, I'm sorry, this is not going to be your Bassmaster Classic.
Wow.
Bucket C. I picked Brian Smith. I do not think this is going to be your Bassmaster Classic either. So I think you're going to have a tough time. Bucket D, I am going with Shane LaHue. Sorry, Shane. Great guy. Great video game player also. I've played video games with him several times. But I just think you might not. And you might be at the expo on the final day. And then bucket E, I'm sure this is going to be a fantastic experience for you, Noah. But I do not think you're going to catch him. So Noah Winslow, I think, is going to have a very rough classic as well. So that is my fantasy fishing lineup of who I'm hoping will be the worst lineup possible. That's what I'm going for.
Okay.
Wow.
I do think just randomly, like Murphy's Law, I think one of Bart's picks is just gonna like crush it. Maybe not win, but like top 3. Like,
I mean, based off the last event, one of the people I picked did almost win. So man, Chris Zaldain, shout out.
What do you guys have for weight on the tournament?
Well, you haven't even said your lineup, bitch.
Oh, okay. All right, here we go.
Emphasis on the bitch part.
Yeah.
Bucket A was completely stacked. I think this angler in Bucket A, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And I think the when is now. He's so good. He's almost considered a veteran of catching them at the Elite Series level, even though he's a ripe age of younger than us. This angler is a Wisconsin native, and his name is Jay Shakur. He's a stone cold killer. He understands current. He understands smallmouth. He understands largemouth. He catches them from coast to coast. He has been consistent in classic finishes so many times, and it's his time. Jay's going to catch him. I think Jay's going to win the Bassmaster freaking Classic. You heard it here first. You can clip this after he wins. Jay, you're welcome for me to throw that juju on you like that. Okay. Bucket A, Jay Shakur. Coming in bucket B. Not exactly the same place, but the same type of fish. We're going to Smallmouth Disneyland. This is Taku Itu. And it could be Taku time. You know what I'm saying? Taku throws sneaky baits. He understands smallmouth and he loves them. They're his pets. And yeah, I think he's gonna catch their ass.
Taku catches 20 pounds. Sobi, we're going to get sushi.
Yep.
Mark it down.
Bucket C was difficult. And I think he had a year last year that was not up to his standards, but he's a certified killer. He's a certified catcher. He's a Texas native. And for all good omen's sake, at my very first Classic in Knoxville, Tennessee, I actually went square dancing with this guy, and he was out there cutting a rug. At the time, he was not a professional fisherman, but now he's a professional. He's competing here, and his name is Dakota E-Bear, and he's a stone cold killer. In Knoxville, at my very first Classic, Dakota and I, we went out and we went to this big country bar, and he taught me how to dance like country folks. Do I remember it? No. Did I see it in live? Yeah. And now he's fishing in it. Dakota E-Bear is going to catch their ass.
Yep.
Bucket D, undeniable stone cold killer. He's won enough this year to create highlight reels for most other anglers' whole professional careers. He's a young gun. He's a Crush City crew member. His name is Fisher Anaya, and he catches them. And I think Fisher has proven himself, even in his young career, that he doesn't play games. He's out to absolutely just catch bass and take punks' money. And I think he's going to do that. So he very well could win. Bucket D, Fisher Anaya. And last but not least, a semi-local boy that understands smallmouth and he understands current. And that's Nick Trim from Wisconsin. I think he's going to have a type of Classic that will surprise a lot of folks. Just because the way that section of the river lays out and his fishing style. I don't know Nick Trim personally that well, but from his river knowledge to kind of how this translates, I think that's interesting.
I will tell you this: if those smallmouth are close to spawning, Nick Trim should be the favorite of the Classic.
You think so?
That's what I would say. Yes.
I like that.
If they are that close.
Are you saying you like my lineup a little bit? You like my lineup?
If you wanted to win, yeah. I don't, so.
Jay Shakur, Taku Itu.
I'm just saying if the smallmouth are up there, Nick is really, 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 I mean, when he won the Bass Nation, I mean, he's very good current fisherman. And that section of the Tennessee River has a lot of current. But he is very, very good in May in La Crosse when smallmouth go to spawn. And if they're that close, like I said, he will have a couple things he knows that are a very distinct advantage that other people probably do not have any experience with.
Bart likes my lineup.
But he also took last place in fantasy fishing last year, so
let's go.
I also did take last place last year, and I'm actively trying to take last place right now. So I only liked one of your picks. So
well, you don't like Jay Shakur? Come on.
I think Jay's a wonderful human being.
Oh, Jay's a killer, dude. I think
yeah, so is everybody in his bucket.
Totally true. Totally true. Would not deny that. Totally true.
Except for who'd you pick?
Lee Livesey. Yeah.
Oh, you don't. Yeah, you think?
No, he's a killer. I just think he's gonna. So I think someone in that bucket's probably gonna win. I think he'll probably just do the worst out of all of them.
All right, what do you guys have for weights? Total weight of the tournament. I don't know if I know my.
Did anyone look up what it got won with last time?
I think he got one with 51 pounds.
Yeah, I went high. I mean, I think people will consistently catch bigger bags just because everyone will be scoping this time, in comparison to like the last field of classic anglers that was out there. I was guessing somewhere around 18 pounds a day, so I had 72 pounds.
Wait, what?
It's only 3 days.
It's only 3 days.
Oh, well, 18 pounds a day is what I had.
So it'd be 36, 44. You'd be at 54.
Yeah.
Is that mathing?
54. Yeah. 18 a day. 54. Yeah. 18.
I had 54.7. So sorry, you said 70. I was like, what?
Yeah, I put 18 a day and then I just mathed it in 4 times, but that's for a regular season event.
I do have to say, at the last classic, my name for fantasy fishing was showing up on the big screen and on the television on live because I guessed the weight correct for a 3-day total. I had multiple people come up to me and they're like, "Yo, I saw you in your name in fantasy fishing." I didn't think I had great picks, but I picked the weight dead on, and this time I chose 52.4. I think it's going to be a little bit higher than before, but not significantly higher. I don't know. It's just my thoughts.
My guess is I think we're all low, but
could be. That very well could be.
I'm just very intrigued to see what the scope factor is here because I just think there's a lot of this place that nobody's really understood.
It's a good venue for this. Like
well, Knoxville rocks. I was there filming Gussie, and Scott Martin. I was staying with Scott when they had the first Elite Series event there.
But especially, I'm not just saying like the venue, like I'm talking like the fishery, and especially now where fishing is with technology. Like it's gonna be different. Like you said, I think we're probably shooting low.
And Knoxville's a hella cool town. The other factor is it's a long boat ride down to the bottom end. There's a lot of running on Knoxville, if you remember. It is a distinct boat ride to get down to where some of that stuff is going on.
Are we totally underplaying like a Seth Fighter and a Felix in this derb? Are we?
No, Fighter's done well here before.
I know, and Felix has done well here before too. I think in the classic that Gussie won, I think Felix was doing really good like day 2.
Yeah, I think. Well, okay, and I would also say if smallmouth are close to spawning, Austin Felix is insanely good at smallmouth bed fishing.
That's why I'm like, are we totally overlooking our hometown heroes? Like,
I just don't think they're going to be spawning yet. I know it's been warm, but like that is early, man. That is really early there. I think it's going to be pretty hardcore pre-spawn event.
But it could be like, that's what's interesting is like it could be semi on the bank pre-spawn, like staging, like final staging. Which could be really interesting, like for power fishermen.
What I'm really curious to find out, Sobi, and what's been tripping my triggers, I'm wondering if there's a lot of smallmouth in that place, and I'm wondering if what I found on Kentucky Lake actually happens here too, because it's only a couple pools further. Or it's just a bit further, not a couple pools further. It's at a different part of the Tennessee River. Like
there's definitely in heavy current spots, still areas and little eddies and little areas and little stretches that those smallmouth will spawn. But like, where's the wad? Where's the wad?
That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of that body of water that none of them ever touched that is very similar to what I did. And I'm wondering if they're on those flats.
I mean, like, smallmouth spawn in waves. All fish spawn in waves. Like,
they spawn in weird places.
There's gonna be a wave of fish that are spawning, dude. I promise you. There could be just some dudes that are nasty on perspective and 360 that find something that people go, holy smokes.
Yeah. Well, like I said, just they haven't been there when everybody's known everything about everything with the forward facing. So, I mean, remember Zaldane did when he weighed a low 20s bag of swim bait fish that one year. I think it was like 21 or 22 pounds one day. There's sacks in there, dude, and it's just,
and especially down south, down south, anywhere around that TVA area, like right before they spawn, they eat those swim baits like the best. Like, it could line up. Maybe he doesn't get all 3 days like that, but maybe he gets a day or an afternoon where he just blows it up. Pick one person you think is going to win this classic, Bart. You got to pick one.
I'm trying to actively lose.
It's not with fantasy. This is just who is going to win the Bassmaster Classic.
This is fantasy. This is the fantasy segment.
No. Who do you think is going to win?
I think John Cox is going to win this thing, dude. I really do.
Who do you think is going to win? You got to pick one, Adam.
If I had to pick a shallow water angler, I wouldn't pick Cox. I would pick Welcher.
Well, I did.
Well, who do you? That's not what we asked. So, who do you think is going to win?
Just one shot. I think there's a lot of guys who have a really good shot. To be honest, I think it's a really intriguing classic for that. I just think there's a lot of stuff that people haven't figured out about this place. I'm just kind of looking through everybody who's actually in it to kind of. So someone that'll be really interesting to watch. My pick, honestly, is probably to win would probably be Trey McKinney. Just because he's so goddamn good. And he's so good under pressure. And he's so good on grinder fisheries. And he's just a killer, dude. But I think people should keep an eye out for a guy who, like, everybody in college, they know him as like the TVA master. And that is Dylan Nutt. He wins like everything down on Pickwick pre-spawn, and he's just done well all over the TVA. And I think it's a time of year where he has a lot of experience. I think it'd be really interesting to see what he does. I will say this, I am very confident that this classic will be won by someone under the age of 30 again. I don't think it's going to be an older person. I think
John Cox.
Sure. Could be.
You heard it here first, dude. Jay Shakur is winning this classic. Jay Shakur from Wisconsin is winning this classic, dude.
I think another shallow water, if it's a real grinder.
Dude, you can't just name half the field and be like,
Bob Downey would be a good Minnesota guy too. Bob always does well on Knoxville because it's a grinder.
And he understands river fish.
Mm-hmm. Bob's a good one. But I would go with Trey.
That's a great pick. It's going to be fun. All right. Well, Ryan and I will be down there. We'll be there, I think.
You going to do anything special for the people?
I think we're going to do something special for the people. We can't disclose everything yet, but we're going to be down there.
Pink, did we get that taser back from St. Paul?
No, but I mean, it's Tennessee. We should be able to scrounge one up.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
We're going to be mobile. We're going to be live. We're going to be running around the expo, running around weigh-ins, running around the town. You know, you come see us. You come find us. And if the nation finds us, we'll be pumped.
But PTB Nation, show up.
Please.
This is the Super Bowl of bass fishing. Be there. Don't miss this.
Absolutely. And everybody hates Sobi for not following through on his bet yet.
I think we should take selfies and say #Bart should be here.
We could do that too.
I like that.
Or Sobi should.
Zona said he was in. Zona said he was in.
He's always in.
How about selfies with Sobi and we label them all Sobi sucks? follow through on your.
I kind of don't mind that one either. It's kind of cool.
It's going to be good. It's going to be a super fun event. And I'm looking forward to chatting with a bunch of cool people at that expo and hanging out and taking in a little bit more of the blast offs and the weigh-ins and stuff. And it's going to be sick, dude. Yeah, like you said, somebody's life's going to change. There will be a new classic champion. It's going to be sick.
And if you're on the edge about coming, like, I definitely think you should just say screw it and go, because
it's free, dude.
Yeah, it's free. The expo is free. The weigh-ins are free. Watching them blast off is free. Like, it's all, dude, it's literally all free.
Just like, show up, get there somehow, some way. PTB Nation, show out, come hang out with me and Sobi at the Classic Expo, at the weigh-ins, the whole thing. It's going to be sick.
Throw some folks in the car and just go, dude, because it's goosebumps. And like, whether you're mildly into fishing or really into fishing, like, I think you can just appreciate the hard work and the time that everybody puts in to make this event come together. And obviously, just even to qualify and fish in this event, like, you just appreciate it. Like, you just go, damn. It's cool. It's really cool.
And in a community that really embraces competitive fishing too. Like,
yeah. All right.
Did we lose Pink again? God.
I think we lost him.
That damn Wi-Fi.
But I think this is where we sign him off and we just go, thank you. Thank you for listening to this classic preview. The welcoming back of our brother Bart. We're good to have him. We're pumped to have him back. And we're pumped that, like, we're kind of turning the page from ice fishing to full on spring mode and bass mode and open water mode. Like, it's go time. Spring has sprung.
All right. Well, let's wrap it up here. Thank you to everyone that listened to this whole thing. Thank you for listening to another episode of Pass the Barb. We are classic bound, and we will see you on the next one.